Welcome along to Buriram in Thailand for match day 1 in Group J of the AFC Champions League. It's the second match of the day in Group J as Kitchee from Hong Kong take on the tournament debutants from Thailand, Port FC. Well, as you can see in the background, we had well, it started raining about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour or so ago, and it hasn't stopped since. Conditions will be extremely heavy here for both teams underfoot at the Thunder Castle, as it's better known, the home of Buriram United FC, who aren't in the Champions League this year. There are 4 teams from Thailand. You can see the conditions. Temperature has dropped a little bit, 28 degrees Celsius. It was up in the mid-30s for the opening game. We had a drinks break in either half. We won't have that in the second half. It has to be over 30 degrees Celsius for us to have a drinks break. But both these teams looking to try and get their campaigns off to a winning start. Let's hope the weather doesn't intervene too much here. We are using 3 venues in Thailand and 2 venues in Tashkent in Uzbekistan for the 5 groups. Only the top teams are guaranteed a place in the knockout stages of the competition, with the 3 best second-place teams going through to join them. So it is vitally important that you can get points on the board early on here. We saw Cerezo Osaka from Japan beat Guangzhou from China, a very young Guangzhou China, very inexperienced side as well, earlier on 2-0. So they're off and running with 3 points. These sides have never met each other in the Champions League. First ever meeting between the sides. It's only the second time Kitchee are playing in the group stages. They were eliminated at this stage 3 years ago, rather, in 2018. And it's the first time, bit of a landmark for Thai clubs actually. The most we've ever had is 2. This year we have 4, including Port FC, who are making their AFC Champions League debut. Formerly known as the Port Authority of Thailand FC. Then they became Thailand Port FC and Singtaroa FC. They were founded back in 1967. Now just known as Port FC. A couple of debutants in their side. We'll give you the confirmed team news in just a moment as we await the arrival of the 2 teams. So 40 teams in the AFC Champions League group stages for the first time this year, expanded from 32. Of course, the game at the moment being played with COVID protocols in place, social distancing. The teams arrived a few days ago. They had to quarantine for a few days at their hotel before they were allowed out to train. All the teams are staying in the same hotel. It is very much the bio bubble. Social distancing for the substitutes, the masks having to be worn, and PPE as well. But the good thing is, amid all these restrictions, that we are getting some top-flight football, despite the fact that there aren't any supporters in Thailand for the matches here. Well, the rain continues to fall. To give you the geography of where we are, we're in the lower northeast corner of Thailand. This was one of the venues for matches in the 2020 AFC Under-23 Championships. 3 teams, the 2 finalists and the semi-finalists in that competition, qualified for the football tournament at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. The Tokyo Games getting underway next month. Despite the fact the rain's coming down, the pitch looking in fairly good condition still at the moment. Let's hope that that stays the way. We won't want any disruptions with any standing water on the pitch as the AFC flag makes its way out. And match officials leading out the 2 teams. Port in the gold shirts and the black shorts today. Kitchee in their usual light and dark blue. No handshakes anymore, of course, well, certainly not for the time being anyway. It's the socially distanced way of greeting the teams now, with the players facing each other and giving a round of applause on the referee's signal. I'm sure the players and the officials would have been looking on earlier on at the first game in this group between Cerezo Osaka and Guangzhou. Socially distanced team photos as well these days, with the wide-angle lens very much in evidence for the photographers. Just saw one of the new signings there, John Baggio from Madagascar. He'll wear number 91. Let's take a look at the two-team lineups. Kitchee fielding a strong side, just two changes from the side that beat Eastern to clinch the title back in May. Huang Lang and Lord Chun both come into the starting lineup. Look out for the front two, Brazilian Clayton and Serbia's Dejan Damjanovic. Damjanovic scored 17 goals in 14 appearances as Kitchee won the Hong Kong League title just a few weeks ago. Referee comes from Korea, Kim Dae-jong, regular in the K-League over there and a regular AFC Champions League referee as well. David Rochella wears the captain's armband as the teams look as though they're changing ends here for the first half. Porter making their debut in the competition. Their coach Sarawut Trifan makes 6 changes to the side that played Nakhan in the league last time out. David Rochella captains the side. There are 2 debutants up front, Philip Roller, who joined from Ratchaburi, and John Baggio, who signed from Sukhothai. They will bear the brunt of the goal-scoring responsibility for the side who are wearing gold today. Both sides going with similar-looking formations. Those are the players available off the bench. There are squads of 30 available to the coaches in these COVID times. 5 substitutions are allowed to be made. They have to be made, though, in 3 specific windows, or 3 separate windows, should I say, plus half-time, which is an extra one, just to try and keep the game flowing. Might be tricky for the goalkeepers, this, with the slippery ball and the wet conditions. The ball is going to zip around off the surface with all the rain. Had near perfect conditions for the first game a little earlier on, but it's taken a turn for the worst over the last hour or so. Players warmed up pretty much in torrential rain. I think we still have about a minute or so to wait. There is the captain, one of the players coming in, Huang Yang. Played just 9 times in the league for Kitchee this season. And Philip Roller there, player who was born in Munich, has played in Germany and the Austrian lower leagues before he moved to Thailand. Board in Fala, where's number 10 for Port. There's the fullback Selenon. It will be the Spaniard Sergio Suarez who will get us underway. So it is Port FC in gold and black, kicking from left to right in the first half, taking on the Hong Kong champions Kitchee. Let's hope the conditions don't spoil things too much in terms of players making individual errors. Forward by Siwakorn. Jaturapat. Into Roller. Interesting to see how the front two combine the two new players. John Baggio, who say hails from Madagascar. Selenon. On by Border. Early possession for Port, the side from Thailand. Port secured their place in this competition by virtue of their league position halfway through the season. That's just out of the reach of Bourdon. Well, they actually finished third in the table. There's Alex Chu, the Kitchee coach. Became their director of football back in 2016. Yet, ironically, if they had gone to the end of the season, there's a chance off the bar. Baggio closing the goalkeeper down, and well, Kitchee getting themselves in all sorts of bother at the back, and John Baggio almost took advantage. Sliding challenge from Siwakorn. Well, the referee taking no account of the conditions, and he'll get a yellow card early on for that Siwakorn. Well, it's all drama here in the opening minutes, just 2.5 minutes played. And Port could have snatched an opening goal. Let's have a look at the challenge first. He's gone sliding in, but there's no real malice in the challenge, especially in these wet conditions, and that's the last thing that Siwakorn would have wanted, was an early yellow card. If you are booked in successive matches, you will. If you are booked in 2 matches in the group stage, you would miss a subsequent match. Cancella stays in play, or Cancella continued his run. Raul Baena. It's blocked away by Siwakorn. Sarawut Tripan is the Port coach. Took over at Port last year. Won himself a gold medal at the Southeast Asian Games with the under-23s back in 2001. Keeper opting to punch the ball away, Vorovod. You can see how tricky the conditions are at the moment. That was Baggio taking a tumble. Cancella. Siwakorn. Rochella. Suarez. Played 27 of the 30 league games. Sergio Suarez. There he is again. Some movement up ahead of him. It's overhit, though, be comfortable for Paolo in the Kitchee goal. Paolo Cesar, one of a couple of Brazilian-born players in the Kitchee squad that are now Hong Kong residents. Helio just in front of him, one of the others. It's Baggio. Baggio pulls away from his map. We didn't get a chance to see that chance again that Baggio had a moment or so ago when he almost found a way through. here it is. It was a poor kick out. Baggio was only like a shot. The ball just holding up in the conditions, and he really should have scored. What a start that would have been for Port. Well, the ball is going to hold up on this wet surface. Back passes are going to have to be hit with some confidence. Celadon with a throw. Just kept the ball in play. Suakorn. Roller trying to burst through, winning himself a free kick. A mistimed challenge from Law. Baggio might fancy his chances for this sort of distance. He scored 16 goals in 27 appearances for Sukhothai in the campaign that's just finished. 48 in 151 games. He averages around about a goal every 3 games, the man from Madagascar. Half of his goals do come from penalties, though, so it's normally a closer in-set piece that's his thing. He has moved away now from the free kick. Board in Fowler over this one as his roller. Who's it to be? It is Board in! Off the bar again. Well, Port strike the woodwork for the second time in the opening 8 minutes. Juratapap. Suarez. Thai debutants have started really well here. Celadon. Roller. Lovely little flick from Suarez. Roller. Plenty of blue shirts back behind the ball. Jaturapat's shot was blocked. Pressure staying on. Suarez. Chipped in again. It's good defending from Helio. And again. Park that time with a header. Well, they're certainly on the back foot here. Kitchee. Side based in Kowloon, directly north of Hong Kong Island. There's the free kick again. Did well to get it up and down over the wall. Second time they've hit the bar. Board in. And Baggio now hitting the woodwork. Not a great delivery on the corner, away by Huang. Law just trying to slip the ball down the line. Jaturapat was there with a good challenge. Have won the Hong Kong League 10 times. Kitchee won the Hong Kong First Division 6 times, and the Premier League in its current form on 4 occasions. And despite all Port FC's successes, they've never won Thai Leagues 1 or 2. Foul on Sergio Suarez, little niggle at him from Clayton. That's a foul and another yellow card for Baggio this time. So 2 yellow cards inside the opening 10 minutes for Port. Well, he may complain, Baggio, but by the letter of the law, the referee has had to give the yellow card. He's tugged the shorts. He was trying to get the shorts of Kitchee man. It's won't be exchanging shirts at the end of a match. Can't even do that these days, I don't think, with the COVID protocols that are in place. Here's Suarez. Selenon. Sulky. Players haven't been involved in any competitive fixtures since the final game of the season for Kitchee. Since they beat Eastern, they went into that final game against their big rivals level on points. 2-0 win thanks to 2 goals from Damjanovic, enough to win the points. Well, the ball just holding up in the salt pitch at the moment, which is making life difficult. Same for both teams though. This is Roller. Captain David Rochella from Port saying they were hoping to brush aside any rustiness in the opening game, and they've certainly started the brighter of the two teams. The ball being played pretty much inside the Kitchee half at the moment. This is Boarding, did well to get to the byline, gathered by the goalkeeper. It was Baggio that was sliding in. Seen anything in an attacking sense as yet from Kitchee. This is Huang. Law outside him. Dejan waiting in the middle. Huang tries to get the ball across, takes a deflection and will go for the corner. Oh, it's gone for a goal kick, in fact. But it come off the back of the Port man. Boarding doing well to track back. Rochella. That's aimed in towards Boarding. Comfortably headed back to his goalkeeper by Roberto. Beto, as he's more affectionately known above his teammates. One of those players that was born in Brazil and now has a Hong Kong passport, a bit like Helio and Paulo, the goalkeeper. I think I might not be pleased with the way his side have started Serra Trifa. His team may not have won the Thai League One, but did win it with one of his former clubs, Bangkok Christian College, in 2001, and won the second division with Chula United in 2006. Played as a right back. He was a player. Played for both those clubs actually, Bangkok Christian College and Chula United. Cleared away from Siwakorn's intended run. Baggio. Roberto's header. Dejan. Haven't seen too much yet of the Serbian striker. Helio. Law. Durapak closed down. Better with the throw, still 0-0, but Port have struck the woodwork twice through Baggio and Bordin. Be disappointed his side haven't managed to make the breakthrough yet. That's good running from Law. Just ran away from him slightly, couldn't get any direction on the cross. He was aiming for Dejan. He'll be the target. You can pretty much guess all the time. The man who scored so many goals last season, 17 of them, has scored 12 goals in his last 6 games, including back-to-back hat-tricks against Happy Valley and Hong Kong Rangers. Dejan Damjanovic. Tremendous goal-scoring record. This is Baggio. Selenon. Sulky. We need to change the ball.
Concentrated. If the make you run, you need to follow. Concentrated. The guy run behind. You need to follow.
Restart with a drop ball.
Don't follow.
Rain continues to fall here. Selenon. Bordin. Given away to Clayton. Sulky. Did well to bring that down under control. Selenon. Bordin looking for Clayton. Free kick. Foul on Suakorn. Now Baena with a look of somewhat surprise on his face, the Spaniard. Man who was born in Malaga, played a lot of his career in Spain, where the weather is slightly better than we're having here at the moment. Selenon. Rochella. Sulky. Selenon. Roller. Collision right in the centre. The foul's gone the way of Port. Well, Rochella was just looking to try and let that one run. He's clattered into Clayton. It was with the challenge. Another free kick for Port. It's a little bit further out this time. Borden had one earlier on in the half that clattered off the face of the bar. Roller this time, but it's way over the top from the new man. Just joined from Ratchaburi, made over 100 appearances in 4 seasons for Ratchaburi, who are also in the AFC Champions League this year, representing Thailand. Dejan, nice flick. It's possibly the first touch for Warrawoods in the Port goal. Same pair of hands though in these tricky, slippery conditions. First time we've seen Dejan really get a touch inside the opposition penalty area. Baggio. Park's header. Baggio again, away by Park. A little bit scrappy at the moment. Difficult to try and really string any passes together with such a heavy pitch. Only one team from Thailand of the previous 10 have won their opening AFC Champions League game, their debut game. That was Buranam United back in 2012, who beat Kashiwa Reysol by 3-2. And incidentally, it was Kashiwa Reysol that were on the end of Kitchee's first win. Kitchee becoming the first side from Hong Kong to win an AFC Champions League match in 2018. That's the only one they won. They lost all 5 of their other group games with Jeonbuk Motors, Tianjin, Quanjin. Finished bottom of the group. That win over Kashiwa Reysol was a highlight for them. Is Selenon. Roller. Footed by Huang. Had more of the ball. Much more of the ball, Port, in this first half. 67%. Haven't managed to find a way through Kitchee's defences as yet. Another awkward one for the goalkeeper. Suarez arriving at the near post. Every right to go for it. Good save, pair of hands from Paolo. Dola. Suakorn. Suarez. Didn't quite telegraph that to Selenon. Sergio Suarez with a few words for the referee, just been told to calm down a bit, won't want to pick up any unnecessary yellow cards. We've already had the 2 yellows for Suakorn and Baggio. So another yellow and they would miss the next match if they get booked in subsequent matches. Challenge from Rochella. Chu was named as caretaker manager initially back in March 2020 after Vlad Siskovic stepped down. Nice little back heel, or just offside though. Yeah, it's a clever back heel, but Mator just coming back from an offside position. Dola. Sulky. That was another yellow card. I think the referee's pulled that back. It was Jaturapat, the man who came charging through. And there was the challenge that earned the yellow card. It was good play by Paolo, who came splashing his way out. It's Park Jun-hyung that's gone into the book. You can see the surface water. Good save by the goalkeeper. Park seems to be okay. It was a painful one, clash of knees. Actually began his career in the lower leagues in Portugal, Park Jun-hyung, before moving back to his native Korea 3 years ago. Did only manage a couple of games at Suwon Blue Wings, though, in 2 seasons. Now at Kitchee, played 13 times in the league for them in the season that's just finished. Baggio and Borden, the 2 men who've hit the woodwork so far, plotting over this free kick. It is Baggio, floated in this time all the way through, and it only needed a touch from Suarez, and that surely would have been 1-0, but they failed to get a touch. Dola was the original. I think the flag went up for offside. It wouldn't have counted had it gone in. Applause for the flag on this near side, but just shows if you could deliver a decent ball into the penalty area, you've always got a chance of putting the opposition's defence under pressure. And that's what Port have done here. Away by Rochella. Oh, Baena took a tumble. Now Baggio, chased by Cancella, cutting back inside. Cancella stuck to his task though. Baggio trying to weave away around him. Good pressure this from Port. Selenon. Looking ball in, but again the flag's gone up for offside against Sergio Suarez. Not having the best of times at the moment in terms of decisions. Sergio Suarez. Yeah, it's a good decision, he's just offside. It is a difficult job being an assistant referee these days. Such is the speed of the game to have one eye on the player that's playing the ball and another on the striker. You've almost got to be cross-eyed at times, but got that one correct. Just over 31 minutes played, still 0-0. But Port have certainly had the better of the exchanges in the first half so far. Sulky forced back towards his own goal. Baggio. Selenon. Roller. Good play, good confident play to take it around Cancella. It's a good cross as well. Baggio arriving. Comes out to Sulky, who was leaning back slightly when he hit the shot. It's well over the top. Did score a couple of goals from midfield. Ko Sulky, the Korean. Hasn't scored since February, though, when he found the net against Pathum United. Lovely ball over the top, chase on for Law. Two in the centre, tried to pull it back for Dejan. Chaturapat did well to block. There were two waiting for that. It's all about margins. And Law, unfortunately, couldn't pick out a man in the centre. Is this a chance for Kitchee to finally put Warwick's goal under some pressure? Plenty of height on it, nodded down by Roberto. Delivered back in again, Roberto's flick. Goes for handball against Helio, which is given by the Korean referee. Whether that qualifies under the new handball laws, that if the ball actually comes off another part of your body onto your arm, that it doesn't actually class as handball. But the laws have only recently been implemented. It may be that we're still playing to the old laws here. Certainly been lots of conjecture over the handball rules over the last couple of years or so. Can't score a goal now if the ball goes in directly off an arm, even if it's accidental. Still 0-0. Selenon. Board in. Come over to this near side now. Baggio goes off on a darting run once again, but he was being tracked all the way by Helio. I'm actually quite glad his name is shortened to John Baggio. His actual surname is John Rakot Onaman Yarnahari, which, just counting up, contains 18 letters. If you're a shirt manufacturer and you're printing the shirts, then you want him to keep his original name if you charge him by the letter. But certainly in terms of us giving his name out on here, John Baggio certainly suits me. He has hit the bar as well, the man from Madagascar. Free kick to Kitchee, foul by Suakorn, who was booked earlier on. Cutting across Clayton. Clayton it will be to take the free kick as Warwick organises defenders. Plenty of movement inside the penalty. It's over everybody, but it's hit the post and he's gone in. And the second time of asking, and against the run of play, you have to say in this first half, it's Kitchee that have taken the lead. And it's Beto who was on hand to play the ball in. And a vital goal for the man born in Brazil, now a Hong Kong resident, and he's put his side in front. Warwick beaten by the initial effort that came back off the woodwork. And unlike at the other end where the two efforts bounced away, well, he'll be disappointed, Sarawak Tripan, having seen his side dominate possession in this first half. They've fallen behind to a Roberto goal. Well, it's a brilliant header from Helio in the first instance that came back off the woodwork. And watch the reactions of Beto. Very quick reactions. Nobody reacted in goal. You'll see this. This will be a good angle to see it from. Came sharply off the post and on the volley, placed into the corner. That's a quality finish, because that is not an easy technique. And the Brazilian, well, the Brazilian as he used to be, scores a great goal. Kitchee in front. Here comes Borden, trying to get his side straight back on level terms. Cleared away by the man who just scored the goal, Beto. Offside. You look back at the history of this competition, the winners have invariably come from the eastern section. 25 times sides from the east have triumphed. Another good ball in. Dola had to be sure with that one. Side-footed away by Rochella. That goal has just lifted Kitchee. David Rochella said beforehand he hoped they'd brush away any rustiness early on, and they certainly don't appear to be rusty Port, despite the fact they have fallen behind here. Reminder, they did hit the woodwork twice early on. A horrendous mistake by Paolo, the goalkeeper, allowing in Baggio, and then Borden's free kick also struck the crossbar. To be Clayton to take the free kick. It's Roberto, the goal scorer, that just picked up a little bit of a knock. Another good ball in. Dejan with a header. I think there was a little nudge in the back of David Rochella, but when that ball comes in towards Dejan Damjanovic, you expect the net to bulge. Not on that occasion, though. Yeah, just a little nudge there, and a nudge there as well, I think. That's good defending. Suarez covering plenty of ground through midfield at the moment for Port. Roller. Dola. Sulky, who's sitting quite deep in front of the back four at the moment. Just wonder whether they might look to try and push him on a little bit in the second half. Good ball back to Jaturapat. Goes out off Roberto for a corner. It's Baggio across to take it. Well, Paolo came. It was a hefty challenge with Dola just in front of him. Brave goalkeeping. Don't think there was a foul. The referee has given a foul, but just seemed to stand his ground there. The Port man. Suarez. A couple of minutes to go to half-time. The players will just be glad to get in and dry off for a start. The rain has started to slow down now. Turapat. Suarez. Some movement up ahead of him. Baggio is hugging that far touchline now, trying to add a little bit of width to the front line. Well, Kitchee weathered that early storm, and I don't mean the weather. Port playing in that opening game of the Championship on their debut. Started brightly, clearly had to make an impression from the off. Struck the woodwork twice early on. Suarez, just an additional minute at the end of the first half. %65% possession for Port FC in this first half. And I'm sure they'll take positives from their first half. I'm sure the coach will be telling them at half-time to just keep doing what they're doing. Well, there goes the half-time whistle. Dejan applauds his side's performance in that first half, and while they didn't have more of the ball, and they lacked behind Port FC in virtually every department, really, in that first half, Roberto there got the goal. Baggio hit the bar early on after a mistake by the goalkeeper, as did Bordin from a free kick. But it was Roberto following up after Helio's header came back off the underside of the bar to put his side in front. At half-time, it's Kitchee 1, Port FC 0. Welcome back to Buranam, where the rain continues to fall here. Thought we'd seen a little bit of a stoppage of the rain just before half-time, but it is back again. Kitchee leading here by 1-0 after that Roberto goal after 38 minutes. Disappointing for Port FC, who dominated possession, had more shots, more passes in that first half, but as everybody will tell you, football's about scoring goals, not how much you have the ball. Port making their debut in the competition, wearing the gold shirts tonight. Reminder, Cesaro Osako got their campaign off and running with a victory over Guangzhou earlier on. And it is Kitchee in the blue that get us underway in the second half. Heavy conditions here in Buranam. After the rain, you can see that the pitch has taken a lot of water. And that's going to be the first yellow card of the second half. So we saw a couple of early yellow cards in the first half for Siwakorn and Baggio from Port. There's another one for Huang, the captain, right at the start of the second half. Referee is Kim Dae-yong from the Korea Republic. There's Law tussling away in the corner. Boarding. Good running from Baggio. It's hoisted in. Paolo will keep his eye on it and watch it onto the roof of the net. So Huang, the fourth player to go into the book. Where's the challenge? So these wet conditions, the referee hasn't really taken those into account. Was a little bit reckless from Huang, who went sliding in. Played in 3 Hong Kong World Cup qualifiers just a few weeks ago against Iran, Iraq and... or Iran and Iraq, rather. Roller. Rochella. Suarez did well to retrieve that situation. Port will certainly look to press in the second half. They've shown they can find a way through the Kitchee defence in that first half. Roller. Be a free kick. Foul by Roller. No changes to either side, by the way, at half-time. Both coaches have got 5 substitutions available to them. can only make them at 3 separate points in the match, plus half-time. Opted not to use that option, though, at the moment. Law just running that one out of play. A little bit of confusion. Turapat thought it should be his ball. Referee and assistant don't seem to be on the same wavelength at the moment. It is Port's throw. Kitchee have a tough game in their second match. They'll play Terezo Osaka, who won their opening game earlier, while Port will take on the young Guangzhou side. Here's Dola. Suakorn. Sulky, who was grabbed around the neck by Raul Baena. Suarez. Rochella. Roller. Cross took a slight deflection, punched away by Paulo. We did what was required. He managed to get the ball away from danger, but only at the expense of a corner. Free kick goes Kitchee's way. Not really running for Port at the moment. Another big day of action in the AFC Champions League tomorrow as Group H gets underway, and we have a second game for the teams in Group G. Jeonbuk Motors against Chiang Rai from Thailand, and Tampines Rovers from Singapore taking on Gamba Osaka from Japan. While in Group G, it's Ratchaburi from Thailand against Johor Darul from Malaysia, and Nagoya Grampus against Pohang Steelers. Those are the 4 games taking place tomorrow in the AFC Champions League group stage. Baggio takes a tumble, trying to stay on his feet, but does go down under Helio's challenge and wins the free kick. Just a grab of the arm, tried to get back to his feet, in fairness to Baggio. Wins the free kick. We're going to see a change here for Port. Narul. Sian Kem coming on. And it's Borden, the man that hit the woodwork in the first half, that's gone off. So Narul started just twice in the Thai League. 9 appearances off the bench. He makes another one here. Rochella and Beto being competitive. Now they'll move in different directions. It's overhit right to the back post. Roller will keep the ball in play. Oh, he's done well. Done very well into the near post. Paulo makes the save. It's still not clear. Roller getting there. Blocked off the line. A real scramble in front of goal, and Port have failed to stamp the ball home. It was a good chance. They're still on the attack, though. Suakorn. Header from Raul Baena. Now Baggio to start things up again. Long-range shot takes a deflection. It will go away for a corner. Selenon firing from a long way out, but well, what a chance. They just couldn't get past the blue wall that was in front of Paulo's goal. Baggio will take the corner. Tricky for goalkeepers when the ball's so slippery in these conditions. In-swinging corner will come from Baggio. To the near post. Another corner. To defend well here, Kitchee. Dejan back on defensive duty, not where he's used to be. In by Narul, the substitute, free header! Oh, it's a glorious opportunity for Dola, and he's headed over the top. Well, he was completely unmarked. A stern look from his coach, but what a chance that was for Elias Dola, a man born in Sweden. Free header pulled away from his man, and it came almost off the top of his head. What a chance. Kitchee still have the lead, but only just. Jaturapat. Here is Dola. Rochella. Jaturapat. Rochella. Baggio running at Cancella, over hits the cross. Roller, who's switched sides in this second half. Off the shins of Law. So 7 of this Kitchee squad were away for a month, having played for Hong Kong in those qualifiers. Bahrain was the other one that they played in, so the coach had to work with the players that weren't involved in the international squad in the build-up to this. Suarez. Jaturapat. Rochella. Jaturapat. Suarez tried the little back heel, didn't quite come off for him. Port still in possession though. Sulky. Selenon. Easy that time for the goalkeeper. Would have been interesting to see that goalbar scramble again. We might see it in just a moment. Paulo seemed to spill the ball when he came in. Could be doing him injustice having not seen it again. It certainly was a real scramble, and Port had a couple of opportunities to try and find a way through. There were just too many blue shirts between them and goal. Cancella. Well, it's back to Quang and fired over the top of Clayton, in fact, who had the shot. Well worked though. Dejan was lurking in the centre. Clayton couldn't keep the shot down. Oh, well wide. Did score 58 goals in the Thai league this season as they finished third. Port, only second place Buranam, who play their football here, scored more. They scored 63, 58 for Port. Here's Baggio. Another good ball in, another good header away by Huang, the captain. Well, they're piling pressure on here. The side from Thailand, keen to impress. Failed to make it through the playoff stage last season when they were beaten by United FC of the Philippines. But they've certainly given a good account to themselves here against Kitchee, and they may not be over yet. Baggio with a corner. Came off Park. Jaturapat. Baggio staying out wide. Ball might just hold up on the wet surface. Reaches Baggio though. Narrow. And it came on a few moments or so ago. Now there might be a chance to break here for Clayton. A little tuck back. No yellow card this time for Rochella. It's the man whose goal separates the sides. Roberto, 7 minutes before half-time. Clayton. Route to goal was quickly closed down. Suarez. Jaturapat. Sulky. An hour gone in Buranam. Siwakorn. Waited his moment, tried to feed that one into Baggio. Defended well. Kitchee at times. Siwakorn. Sulky. Now Jaturapat. Sulky just holding things up here while Sergio Suarez is redoing his laces. Back on his feet. Port need to find something to unlock this Kitchee defence. Sulky. Narul. Nice give and go. Swap sides with Roller. He's gone for a corner. Came off Cancella last. Forward by Roberto. Nicely taken down by Orr. Hasn't been in the game too much so far, Matt Orr. Did score a couple of hat-tricks within 4 games of each other, Matt Orr, back in the Sapling Cup in October, November against Hong Kong Rangers. Hasn't really seen too much of the ball today. Park. Clayton. Just that final ball lacking at the moment for Kitchee. Foul by Roberto. Port that continue to dominate possession, 72% out of the ball so far. 12 shots, just 2 on target. Probably tells its own story, that. 2 shots on target for Kitchee. One of those is the goal that put them in front. Oshala. That goes off Cancella. There'll be a corner. So the corner count continues to rack up for Port as well. It will be their 8th corner of the match. And they put Paulo's goal under a little bit more pressure. Corner taken short. Helio's header. Sulky. Jaturapat tries his luck from a long way out, straight at the goalkeeper. Either side he might have caused him a problem, but well, Paulo had his positioning spot on that time. Ball came at a nice height straight into his midriff. Did well to get the ball out of his feet before the challenge. Jaturapat. Did score back in March in a 2-1 win over Chonburi. Only goal of the season. Alex Chu continuing to try and lift his team. This would be just the 2nd win ever in the AFC Champions League group stages for Kitchee, don't forget. As you mentioned, they beat Japan's Kashiwa Reysol back in 2018. They've been decidedly 2nd best in the passing departments as well. Confirmation of the possession also. Roller. Just ricocheted away from him, Cancella. Suwakorn. Jaturapat. So sides will be in action again on Sunday. A high foot by Baggio. It was booked in the first half. It was Park that went down. Baggio just needs to be a little bit careful. Park himself was booked, Park Jun-hong. Yeah, I think he's got a right to go for that. He was eyes on the ball, Baggio. Park was dipping into that one. I think he may just have overstretched something here. Maybe a touch of cramp for Park. So these hot and humid conditions, not hot enough to have a drinks break. It has to be 30 degrees plus for that to happen. But it's certainly up in the high 20s. Humidity's increased with the rain as well. It's Dejan. Law. Temporarily down to 10 men, Kitchee. Clayton. Dejan. Clayton's trying to find space in the box. Dejan looking to try and set himself up a shooting opportunity. Not to be. Another late challenge by Clayton this time. The referee seems quite content to keep his card in his pocket at the moment. It was Narul, the substitute. Just got his foot trodden on by Clayton. Again, it is an attempt to play the ball. I think the referee would appreciate that and realise that he has put a foot in to try and nick the ball away from Narul, who's just a little bit too clever for him. So it's Baggio with the free kick inside the final 20 minutes. Sarawak Trifan will look at the stats and wonder how his side haven't got a goal. They might have here. Oh, it's a free header from Dola, who almost made up for that effort with the last set piece when he headed over. That was a much more difficult chance, and he's guided it towards that far corner, and he's gone just wide. Law is coming off for Kitchee, who will be replaced by Tong Kim Man. Another who was involved in a couple of those internationals recently. Played 90 minutes against Iraq, came on after 75 minutes against Bahrain, and he's on after 71 minutes here against Port. First change of the evening for Kitchee. Narul's ball in, finds Baggio. Narul's continued his run. Looked like handball, and was handball. Well, Narul certainly looked lively since coming on in the second half. Again, it's another one that's just flicked off his thigh onto his arm. Always a little unfortunate when the ball strikes another part of your body first. I think that might be the little tweak in the handball laws that we're looking at from next season. Port very much on the front foot still. Slide from all. Suakorn. Cancella into the corner. Suakorn with a quickly taken throw. Port in a little bit of a rush to get this into the middle. Flicked by Sulky. Almost fell through for Roller. Last-ditch defending once again. This is Dejan. Can Kitchee catch Port on the break? Clayton. I stuck to his task there. Jaturapat didn't dive in. Just matched Clayton pace for pace, and then just put in a foot when he felt he could win the ball and brought the run to a halt. Dola has had their best chances, arguably their two best chances in the second half. The centre-back, Elias Dola. Huang. Tong, the substitute who's just come on. Deja. Marshalled again, but Rugel's free. roll by Aina. No one in the middle. Dejan was just back on his heels a little bit outside the box. It's the sort of place you want your star striker to be. Warrawood. Now Jataraput. Baggio. Low centre of gravity, which is quite easy for him to drop the shoulder and glide past players. He's worked hard without much end product. John Baggio. Sulky. Given away to Cancella. Tom. Clayton. Closing down Wellport at the moment, keeping Clayton back in his own half at the expense of a throw, which will be taken by Roberto.
Hey!
Siwakorn. Selenon. Sulky. Roller. Sulky. Dola. Clock ticking away from Port. Need to come up with something in the final quarter of an hour. Maybe surprising that both sides have only made the one change so far. Siwakorn. Jaturapat. Well, they certainly haven't disgraced themselves, the side from Thailand, in this opening game. They came out with a game plan. They were positive right from the start. They hit the woodwork twice early on. Had those two chances in the second half, both for Elias Dola. And another scramble where Roller couldn't quite force the ball over the line. And on another day, if things are running for them, they probably would have ended up taking the 3 points. But they still have work to do here to try and save something from the match. Clayton. Kitchee going in search of a second. Dejan just pulls away. It's in behind him, and it's side-footed home by Dejan. All went to the near post. Dejan Damjanovic, 17 goals in the league this season, and that, by his standards, is a fairly simple finish. And surely now the points are safe for Kitchee, who are going to secure just their second win in the Champions League group stages. Makes it 13 goals in 7 games if you take into account the last few games of the league season. That was great running. All came near post. Dejan just dropped his position. Nothing the goalkeeper could do. Did score for Montenegro back in 2013 in a World Cup qualifier against England at Wembley in a 1-1 draw. That was a much more important goal, of course, but that, in the context of this competition, is very important as well, because it could well have given Kitchee all 3 points now. And a 2-0 they've matched what Cerezo Osaka did earlier on in their game against Guangzhou. This could be a very tight group. Reminder, only the top team goes through. The 3 best second-place teams also going through. So really, you have to just focus on winning your own games. You don't need to worry about what other teams are doing. If you can win your games, and of course the game to look out for at the moment is going to be Kitchee against Cerezo Osaka, which we'll see in 3 days' time on Sunday. Kitchee have made a change while those celebrations were going on. Shinichi Yat has come on for 95 over there. Confirm who's gone off in just a moment, but for now, into the final 10 minutes. Port about to make a double change. Will roll all the way through to Paolo.
Hey, come on, hey!
Well, you cannot stop him scoring at the moment. Dejan Damjanovic, man born in Mostar in Bosnia. There's a flick. It's Roberto. It's Yat, rather, on the chase. Now going to see the change. Siwakorn is going off. Baggio going off as well. And Pakhorn Parpak is the player coming on. Cheryl Chapuis was the first player that came on. There's a foul right on the edge of the area. Well, maybe this isn't over just yet. Chance for a Port free kick. It's the man who's just come on that's won it. Pakhorn. Made 16 starts in the Thai League this season. Might fancy the free kick as well. Did score just the 1 goal back in March against Prashaup. What's he got in his locker from the free kick to beat Paolo, who's done what he's had to do pretty well so far, the Kitchee goalkeeper. It will be Pakhorn. Drives it through the wall and just wide. Well, it's a good effort. He was very, very close. You can tell by his reaction. We'll see it from here. That was the side the goalkeeper was protecting. The wall was protecting the other side, and he was a little slow to react, Paolo. Goal there could have set up a very interesting final few minutes. Dejan now making way. Alex Sakande comes on. And Huang, the captain, is also making way here in the final few minutes. And Ho Chun Ting is the player to come on. Alex Sakande, who was born in Lagos, played in the UK earlier on in his career with Waltham Forest in the non-league scene back in the UK. Moved to Hong Kong at the late end of the 2000s when he played for Taichung. It's actually his third spell at Kitchee. Clayton was the player that went off earlier, by the way, for Yat. Another change here for Port. Not too sure they're going to make the change. He said it was Orr that went off, by the way, rather than Clayton. Sorry, in the for Kitchee. There's a bit of slight confusion with the numbers. They're not making the change just yet, so Natterwood won't get on for the moment. 4 minutes to go. Kitchee leading by 2-0. Roberto getting the first goal after Helio's header hit the bar. It was a very sharp chance, taken exceptionally well by Roberto. And then Dejan getting an almost obligatory goal. The man very much at the top of his form. Roller. He's playing slightly deeper now. Philip Roller. Down the line towards Suarez, who's claiming a corner, but he's not going to get a corner. Raul Baena was the man who was challenging. Now they are going to make the change. Jatara put the fullback is the man coming off, and Natterwood Sumbachota is the player coming on. Didn't play in the league last season. Natterwood, the first season he was at Port, he made 19 appearances, all of them off the bench. Now he has another one to his name. I'm sure he'd like a few starts. Did score 3 times in those 19 appearances, coming on as a substitute. This is Sulky. Foul on Cancella. I'm pleased to say that the weather hasn't had too much of an impact on the game. It was a little tricky early on. The ball was just holding up on the pitch. So the pitch has held up pretty well here, having also had a game on it earlier on. Teams will be back here on Sunday at the Thunder Castle, which has been quite appropriate. Certainly weather-wise. Roller. Played by Rob Baena. Well, fair play to Port. They haven't let their heads drop despite the fact they went 2-0 down. They've kept pressing, they've kept trying, they've kept driving forward. Certainly think they'll have games where they play worse than this and win. Fancy their chances against that young Guangzhou side when they meet on Sunday to get off the mark. Pakorn. Rochella. Good spin from Nurul. Brought down again by Roberto. He's been a bit of a handful, Nurul. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe see him get a start in the next game. His pace and his drive have been a real force for Port since he came off the bench. They've got a corner here. I don't think he's a happy man at the moment. Sarawak Tree fan. Why would you be? 72% possession. 15 shots on goal, just 3 on target, and you're losing by 2-0. Such is this game of football. Roller. Chapuis. Under pressure, might be forced back to his goalkeeper. Alex on the chase here. Keeper's had to come a long way out. He was caught by Alex. Warrawood looked second favourite to get that, but he's gone diving in. Maybe just clipped off the clip on the back of the head. Alex has stayed down injured as well. It's brave goalkeeping. The back pass just holding up on the wet pitch. No, it's just the elbow, I think, that just caught Warrawood on the back of the head as he went through there, Alex. No malice. Alex injured himself in the process. We're into 3 minutes added time, by the way, at the end of the 90 minutes. Foul by Roller. And Kitchee will be glad just to run the clock down now. They know that their work is done. They've survived a few scares. I have to say, it's been an impressive debut in the competition for Port. No Thai supporters to spur them on, of course, but they've came here with a game plan. Started pretty well for them. Looked as though that they could cause a few problems. Sulky. It's gone for a corner off Cancella. Last chance of the match, you would feel. Pakorn to swing this one over. Is there a consolation here? Good punch away by Paolo, only as far as Chapuis. Challenged on the edge of the box. Clayton. Could be a break on here for Ho Chun Ting. That's not a great ball. It was in behind Yat anyway as the full-time whistle goes, and Port's brave effort has amounted to nothing because Kitchee have survived an early storm and a couple of chances that hit the bar for the opposition in the first half. Dejan got the second, the man who scored 17 goals in the league this season. Roberto scored the first after Helio's header came back off the bar. It was a sharp volley chance into the top corner. Warrawood came flying out of his goal at the end to deny Alex potentially a third goal. But Kitchee take the points. They go level at the top of the group with Cerezo Osaka, who won earlier on. But Port, if they play like that for the rest of the competition, they certainly won't be leaving here empty-handed. Only the top teams go through, don't forget. The second team in 3 of the 5 groups will go through. Port have Guangzhou and Cerezo Osaka, the other teams to play in the group. But a good account for their opening debut. Kitchee win for just the second time in the AFC Champions League group stages and go level on 3 points at the top of the table with Cerezo Osaka, who they play on Sunday. Job well done. It's finished here in Buranam. Kitchee SC 2, Port FC 0.
슬기야, 어떻게 된 거야?